Hidden beneath the Mediterranean Sea is a secret so massive it rewrote the history of Earth. Deep under the seafloor lies a giant buried layer of salt, evidence that this blue sea once almost disappeared. Scientists drilling into the seabed found minerals that form only when seawater evaporates. Not a thin layer, not a local deposit, a continental-scale blanket of salt hidden under the entire basin. To understand it, we have to go back almost 6 million years to a world where Africa was pushing north, Europe was resisting, and the gateway between the Atlantic and Mediterranean was beginning to close. The Mediterranean depends on the Atlantic. More water evaporates from its surface than rivers and rainfall can replace. So when the Gibraltar connection narrowed, the sea became a trapped basin. Then the sun did what tectonics had started. Year after year, the water level dropped. Coastlines retreated. Islands became mountains. Harbors of the ancient basin turned into cliffs above a dying sea. The Mediterranean did not vanish in one instant. It transformed into a chain of hypersaline lakes, hotter, denser, and more hostile than almost any marine environment on Earth today. In some models, the exposed basin floor may have dropped kilometers below global sea level. Rivers that once met the sea began carving gigantic canyons down into the empty Mediterranean trench. The Nile, the Rhone, and other rivers were forced to chase the falling sea. They sliced deep into rock, leaving buried canyon scars that still help reveal how extreme this crisis became. As water evaporated, minerals concentrated, gypsum formed, halite crystallized. Layer after layer of salt built up until parts of the basin floor became a blinding mineral desert. Imagine the Dead Sea multiplied across an entire continent, a scorching depression of brine pools, salt crust, collapsing mud, and air so hot it bent the horizon. Marine life was pushed into shrinking refuges. Some species vanished locally. Others survived in isolated pockets where water remained just deep enough, just stable enough to hold on. Removing a warm inland sea changed the surrounding climate. Moisture patterns shifted. Landscapes around Europe and North Africa became drier, harsher, and more fragmented. The missing water also changed regional sea level and gravity patterns. A huge basin that once held seawater was now storing salt on its floor, changing the balance of water and minerals across the planet. But the Atlantic was still waiting outside the gate. At Gibraltar, erosion, tectonic stress, and shifting landforms slowly weakened the rocky barrier holding back an ocean. At first, it may have been only a trickle, a narrow stream spilling across the divide. But water is patient. It cuts, deepens, accelerates, and turns weakness into collapse. Then the breach exploded into one of the greatest floods in Earth's history. Atlantic water surged through the gateway, accelerating into the empty basin with terrifying force. At peak flow, some models compare the flood to hundreds or even 1,000 Amazon rivers pouring through a single channel, not for hours, but possibly for months. The water did not simply refill a bathtub. It carved rock, tore through sediment, and thundered down into basins that had been exposed to the sun for hundreds of thousands of years. In the fastest phase, water levels may have risen more than 10 meters in a single day. Valleys disappeared, salt deserts drowned, isolated basins reconnected into one returning sea. The Mediterranean came back transformed, not gently, not slowly. It returned as a geological shockwave, leaving scars in the seafloor and resetting life across the basin. Today, ships cross the Mediterranean without seeing the buried evidence below: salt layers, drowned canyons, and erosional scars from the moment an ocean forced its way back in. The Mediterranean feels permanent, but 6 million years ago, tectonics closed a gate, the sun drained a sea, and the Atlantic returned with the power to rebuild a world. The sea did not simply disappear, it was erased and then violently reborn.